Europe, Japan, and the United States have long dominated the hi-fi audio market, but recently, Chinese hi-fi companies, or chi-fi companies, have been releasing some reasonably priced headphone options that punch well above their weight class. Well, today I'm reviewing one of these, the BLON B60s, and the results may surprise you.
Nico knows tech, all your tech tips and reviews on deck. Nico knows tech, #1 channel with the news on check.
Now, for full disclosure, Linsoul did send me the BLON B60s free of cost. However, they have not participated in the review whatsoever. This will be an honest review. Now, before we get started, cue the unboxing montage. Now, the BLON B60s come in right around $155, and if you want a spoiler, yes, they're fantastic, I recommend them, reviews over, links in the description. But if you have a little bit more patience, I want to start with the design elements. And most likely the most obvious design element is that the ear cups are made of wood. These are genuine walnut ear cups, and BLON says that they're imported, most likely because walnut is not very common as a growing tree in China. The ports come to a 2.5mm mono to output to stereo. This is not the actual cable, this is a balance cable, which I'll talk about shortly. The cable it comes with is just fine. It has dual 2.5mm, gold plated tips, and 3.5mm, and it's around an 8-foot cable. The headband itself is spring steel, and then the headband is self-adjusting comfort band, which I find to be extremely comfortable. There's also additional padding. The ear pads themselves, these are not what comes with them. These I got through Wicked Cushions. The ones that this comes with are right here, and they are just fine. And they have a good bit of foam, leatherette on the side, and then a fabric material right here. And they are square just like the driver. I actually swatched them out for these from Wicked Cushions just because I like having a more dense memory foam, and then I also went with the cooling gel just because it really helps with wearing them for long periods of time because they do tend to heat up, just like most closebacks. Regarding the build quality, they have a really good build quality. Most of this is metal and then it terminates to wood, and so there's not a whole lot of things that can just snap off on you. So very strong build, and overall quality, the fit and finish is all perfect. Everything goes together. There's no ricketing, there's no squeaks, even though there could be with metal on metal, but you just don't find it there. The headband looks like it's going to last a good while, and we have a full swivel both directions, and they'll even flatten out. Maybe even too much swivel, but it's not going to hurt anything. As I put them on, the comfort is very good. They're very cushy, very comfy. The headband, it could be slightly looser, but it's not irritating whatsoever. Just compared to other comfort bands that have gone with less tension, do feel slightly better. But if you've never had a comfort band or used gaming headphones such as Steel Series where you have that elastic band on top, anything with a regular headband is usually going to feel not as good as this. So very good comfort. The ear cups are big. Even the stock ear cups, I'm using the Wicked Cushions, but the same size Wicked Cushions, your ears don't touch the driver whatsoever. There's plenty of room in there, and there's just no irritation. I feel like I could wear these for long periods of time, and I have worn these and fallen asleep with these after hours of listening. Now, the B60s feature 50mm beryllium drivers. Beryllium is a material used by a lot of high-end hi-fi companies. Master and Dynamic, I know, is a big fan of beryllium drivers. Beryllium is a really good material for making taking drivers out of, and 50mm is slightly on the large side, and that's a good choice if you want to get a good, tight, accurate bass response. And regarding how they sound, they are magnificently detailed. They're very analytical, very transparent, slightly bright. However, they do have a punchy bass that can come in. It is not bassy whatsoever. It is mostly bright, but these are very good in the treble. They're almost perfect. The 4K is slightly sibilant at some tracks. However, you can fix it with an EQ by bringing the 4 kHz down a bit. I brought it down by about 6 decibels, and that made it almost perfectly balanced for most tracks. Like I said, the bass is tight, it is present, there is a bit of sub bass, it is rolled off a little bit like most cans, but these are a really enjoyable listen for lots of music. I listen to Hans Zimmer tracks which have a sub-bass intro, and it was always present. The separation of instruments is magnificent. If you like analytical cans, these are a really good choice. Soundstage is medium. I wouldn't say they're extremely wide. They're not as wide as, say, Meze 99 Classics, but they are significantly wider than most closed backs. The wood on these, I think, gives them a lack of resonation and reflection. There is, of course, some in there, but it doesn't feel too claustrophobic. Another nice thing about the B60s is that they're worth messing around with. I did experiment with different cables, different DACs, different ear pads, and I was able to tune them to exactly the way I like them. For example, I did go with the Wicked cushions, which I showed you earlier. You can get those, everything I talk about, you'll find links in the description. And that made the highs a little bit less sibilant. It widened the soundstage a bit, made them a little bit more comfortable, even though they were really comfortable to begin with, and also prevented them from heating up. I went with balance cables to 4.4mm so that I could use the balanced output of my HiFi Zen DAC V2. Being able to add that extra true bass and using that warmer DAC made them sound magnificent. Overall, I had a ball experimenting with them because these headphones really like to tell you if they like one DAC more than another, if they like one amp more than another, which shows me that they're exceptionally capable. You can EQ them and crank up the bass, you can mess with the highs, you can make them V-shaped, you can do a whole lot with them, and they will perform very well. You know, most inexpensive headphones, if you mess around with the EQ, you can maybe do 1 or 2 adjustments, and if you do anything else, it just sounds horrible. These are very capable, and you can modify the way they sound. If you were going to use them just out of the box to plug into a cell phone, they will work just fine, and out of the box they sound really good. What I like about them is that they are definitely targeting the hi-fi market, which is going to use them in a variety of sources. And for example, when I get a new set of cans like this, I'm going to try them with my HiFi, I'm going to try them with my FiO DACs, I'm going to try them through the Rebel amp, I'm going to try them with my phone. I'm going to see how they sound, and I wouldn't do that on a cheap pair of headphones that isn't worth messing with. I'm going to listen to it, put it back on a shelf. These are worth experimenting with, and that's saying something. So overall, at $155, they are a steal. They are a fantastic value. They are punching significantly ahead of their weight class. Usually when you get this kind of sound, it's in the $279 Sennheiser $300 or a little bit higher than there. I wouldn't say that these are replacing, they're not going to replace Meze audios, however those are a bit warmer, but they're definitely in that league. And $150, I think they're 50% lower than what a lot of their European competitors are. I don't think they're replacing any of those, but they definitely deserve a place there, and I definitely think that any audiophile that hasn't heard these, you might be asking me, are they similar to the Robin? No, the Robins are warmer, a bit different, they're also good. These sound unique. These aren't just a repeat of a dozen other headphones. They do have their own place on someone's shelf, and I think they're worth a try for you. Again, you can check them out at the link in description. And congratulations on making it to the end of the video. I hope you found this review helpful. If you like it, please click like and consider subscribing. You can also follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Patreon, and I will see you next time.